What? Another Hosim? Hosim? Yeah, so this is basically version 2 of the X17, dubbed the X27. And I really liked that version 1 they called the Venom. This one seems they have called the Vexaro. Now there's a few things about this car that needed to be improved that hopefully they did on here. Body clip tethers, that's already a plus. The original one had aluminum arms, which is a terrible idea for a basher. This one has plastic and they look bigger. They widened it a little bit. That is awesome. Huge plus straight out of the gate. Also, this car has a center differential. This one did too. Hosim's definitely known for not having the strongest gears in their differential. Okay, I need to butt in here just for a second. According to Hosim, they have updated the differentials. We're gonna take it apart and look at it. More on that in a few minutes. We did blow out a front differential in this, so we're gonna just be extremely gentle on this one. They still call this a 1/8 scale, but it really is a 1/10. Comes with a really thick body, a 2-piece upper metal chassis brace, 3S battery. We see a broken link right here. These are much thicker. The axles are thicker too. Oh, maybe they did make changes to the differentials. These diff cups are different than last year's model too. Audible slop in the drivetrain? No audible slop in the drivetrain, and it sounds and feels just tighter. Full metal oil-filled shocks, they are thicker than these. Plastic shock towers, metal shock towers, thicker body posts. This is definitely a thicker and beefier model. Still got the metal chassis, still have A, B, C, and D metal hinge pin braces. Very flexible bumper. The wing and wheelie bar pretty much is the rear bumper, and it's flexible too. Look at that motor mount. Wraps all the way around the motor. They gave us a fan this time. Same 85 amp ESC. Dean's plug batteries. Differential could definitely use some thicker fluid if they're sealed. So I'm very hopeful. Very hopeful. This is looking good. Here we go! Man, the drivetrain almost seems like it's too tight, which is a good thing as long as it breaks in. Holy cow! Oh yeah! Alright, got some big jumps coming up, so I'm going to make 2 minor changes. One, I'm going to relocate the lower mounting hole of the shocks to this inner hole, and we're going to tighten these springs up just a bit. Oh yeah, and I'm going to adjust the servo saver a little bit tighter. Okay, so I'm also noticing that the older model has a much plushier, oily feeling suspension. This one's much bouncier. I'm going to make sure there's actually oil in there. Oh yeah? It's filled to the very top. It looks pretty thin though. Now I'm gonna leave those stock for now, but probably am gonna end up putting thicker fluid in them. It's a pretty big hop, isn't it? Oh, there's a good one too. I'm talking from here to landing in the street.
Like over the rail and everything?
42 miles an hour. That's faster than the old one, I'm pretty sure. And drive it all the way around.
Oh wait!
Are we clear?
That's massive.
Yeah, you got it. All right, go. I'm gonna go for a front flip.
Don't break, don't break! Don't break! Yeah!
Oh, it looks like it's okay. Yeah, that was a horrible land. Yeah, no, it's good.
You almost landed.
Jumping those gaps reminded me of my skateboarding days. Not that I could do those gaps, but similar style. A few things I'm weirded out about with this truck. The first one being that the front tires are slightly towed in. And under power, they tow in even more, which is why you usually see most RC cars are towed out slightly in the front, because it tends to correct itself under power. And while it's awesome we have adjustable tie rods, they're already adjusted all the way in. We can't tow it out at all. So that's kind of a silly design flaw. Front tires balloon really bad because of the center differential not having thick enough fluid in it. I actually had to re-glue this one here, which it's held so far after doing that. The drivetrain still feels tight, but it does feel looser than it did earlier. I mentioned earlier I did just see that Hosim has upgraded these differentials, so we are going to inspect one of them and we're going to remove the center diff to see if it's also upgraded and to see if it's sealed and can take thicker fluid. Maybe it's empty. Maybe it doesn't have fluid at all. Body is in perfect shape. There's not a single hole or tear. Same with the old body. The old body is still in perfect condition as well. Definitely some good thick material. We didn't have any crazy crashes, but the frame looks perfect. You might notice a slight bend right here, but that's from the factory like that. While the tires are great for sliding around in the dirt, I mean, that's an absolute blast with this car. If you want traction, they're not very good. And yes, I definitely plan on doing all these upgrades shortly. I'm pretty satisfied with the electronics so far. I'm pretty sure the old version stopped us at 30 something miles an hour. 32, 36,
37.4.
Okay, I was close. Plenty of power for flips and maneuvers in the air. Even with that super open center diff, it still pulls wheelies. So once we thicken that up, it's gonna be even crazier. I'm still a little bit disappointed in these shocks. I'm either gonna replace them or find a way to make them work better, whether it's thicker fluid or I don't know. Oh yeah, and everything is Phillips hardware on this. I know that's a big no-no for a lot of people, and I certainly understand why. Alright, so that definitely looks like upgraded metal over the last models. Same with the pinion. Pinion looks good. The only thing about it is it's really small for a... Oh, hold on. 1/8 scale. Actually, here you go. This is one of the differentials for the Venom. Different material, different color, different style. The case is different too. That whole case is metal. That's a metal diff case. The old one is 100% plastic. That explains why these are not coming out. They're probably Loctited in. That's great news. Minus the fact that these screws are going to be an absolute nightmare to get out. Seriously? In this close proximity?
It was the drawer, I swear.
Okay. Yep, those screws were a nightmare. They did not want this coming off. These gears look good too, visually, and that is definitely where the tightness in the drivetrain is. Rolls real easily with those gears out. And it's not the motor. Motor spins easy. Feels like the gear mesh is too tight right there. Okay, is this motor mount reversible? I don't think it is. You know what? Maybe it is. And yes, all these screws were very difficult to get out. Yeah. Sweet. Factory error, but still sweet. Okay, center diff. There is literally zero resistance in this thing. Metal case. I didn't pay attention to it, but this case looks just like the cases in the other diffs. I bet they're metal cased too. And yep, you guessed it. 2 of those diff screws were rather stubborn. Yes, got that one too. That's how you effectively turn a Phillips screw to a Torx screw. There's like nothing in there. Tiny remnants of dried up grease, basically. Oh wait, I didn't even look to see if it's sealed. It's not. What? It's not sealed. It's not sealed? So the only real option here is to shove in some silicone earplug. Okay, I've got her all back together and look at that. She rolls much better. So quite literally the problem was a reversed or backwards motor mount. It doesn't have any number markings like you're supposed to be able to flip it around for different teeth, but maybe that's what it's for, or it was just mismachined a little bit. Is yours gonna be like that? I don't know. I hope not. At least it's fixable, but you're gonna have to go through a lot of junky Phillips head screws to get there. Also have a little bit of resistance in the center diff now, and not too much. I think that's perfect. So we now know they've made a whole lot of improvements. Things that are actually worthwhile, not like a silly body change or something. Most of the shortcomings we found are relatively easily fixable, minus the awful screws. So the next question is price. Is it worth what they're asking? Right now, I believe it's on sale for $280. Personally, I think that's worth it from what I've seen so far. And there's definitely good competition in that price range. Its regular price of $330, that's too high. Some people are still gonna think that that's too expensive even on sale, and I have no quarrels with you, good sirs. It's definitely riding that line of where it needs to be on that sale price. But with that said, we are gonna do all those upgrades I talked about, and then we'll know for sure, because those upgrades are relatively cheap. We're talking tires, fix the alignment issue, something with the shocks. There's a few other things that'll probably wake this up insanely mucho. And if you just love Hosim but you want to spend less money, here's a couple cheaper cars that they've got.